The shocking declaration. The Galactic Empire's ambassador, High Lord Valon, stood inside his diplomatic shuttle, his four hands neatly folded behind his back. His red ceremonial robes shimmered under the cabin's dim lighting, a symbol of the Empire's dominance across the stars. He had visited many worlds before, some eager to please, some fearful of the Empire's power, but never one that refused to welcome them at all. Ahead of him, Earth's orbital station floated like a silent guardian. It was larger than he expected, with massive defense turrets pointing outward, a peculiar design, unlike other galactic space stations, as if it had been built for war rather than trade. Valon remained composed. He had been sent here for one simple mission: to re-establish diplomatic ties with Earth. Orbital Command, this is Ambassador Valon of the Galactic Empire. I request permission to dock and begin negotiations, he said, his voice smooth and confident. Silence. His pilot, a lower-ranked auxiliary officer, glanced back nervously. Earth had received their transmission but was not responding. This was unusual. In all his years of service, Valon had never been ignored. He tapped his communication device again. Earth Command, respond. The Empire will not be kept waiting. This time, a voice answered, but it was not a human officer. It was cold. Automated. By order of the United Human Nations, the Galactic Empire is hereby banned from all Earth-controlled space. Entry is forbidden. A heavy silence filled the shuttle. Valon blinked. Repeat that. Earth Command. By order of the United Human Nations, the Galactic Empire is hereby banned from all Earth-controlled space. Entry is forbidden. The pilot's face paled. The security officers aboard the shuttle exchanged worried glances. Valon narrowed his eyes. On what authority does Earth dare refuse the Empire? The voice did not waver. This decision is final. Turn back immediately. Valon clenched his jaw. No species had ever banned the Empire before. Even the most rebellious planets had at least allowed negotiations, knowing the power that the Empire wielded. He activated the ship's long-range communicator, sending an urgent transmission to the Imperial Council. But before he could say a word, the message came through first. A Galactic Council broadcast. Urgent. Every Empire-affiliated planet, every government, every military command center across the galaxy received the same chilling declaration from Earth. A human appeared on the screen, standing in a dimly lit room. Their face was hidden in shadows, only their eyes glowing faintly from the reflection of a display before them. The voice was firm, without fear. This is an official statement from the United Human Nations. Effective immediately, the Galactic Empire is no longer welcome in Earth's domain. Any vessel entering our space will be treated as an act of aggression. You are not wanted. You are not welcome. Turn back. Then, the screen went black. The galaxy froze. Billions of people across countless worlds stared at their screens in shock. What had just happened? Valon felt his pulse quicken. They've lost their minds, he muttered. His pilot swallowed hard. Sir, the Empire will not be pleased. Valon turned back to the station, anger bubbling inside him. Prepare to send a direct channel to Earth's leaders. I will have answers. But before he could do anything, Earth's orbital defenses activated. Hundreds of railguns and plasma turrets moved in unison, locking onto his shuttle. A warning flashed on his control panel. Target locked. Valon's breath caught in his throat. No species had ever threatened an Imperial diplomat before. No one had ever dared. For the first time in his career, he felt small. Earth was not negotiating. Earth was not pleading. Earth had drawn a line, and they dared the Empire to cross it. The Empire's reaction. High Lord Valon's four hands trembled as he stared at the control panel. Target locked. The words blinked in red, a silent warning that echoed louder than any threat spoken aloud. This is madness, he muttered. He had met warlords, faced tyrants, even negotiated with rogue AI factions, but never had he seen such raw defiance. The pilot turned to him, voice barely a whisper. "Orders, sir." Valon swallowed his pride. "Pull back. Now." The shuttle's thrusters ignited, taking them away from Earth's orbit. The targeting systems remained locked until they passed the boundary of human-controlled space. Only then did the warning disappear. Earth hadn't fired, but they could have. The Imperial High Council. 4 hours later. The Supreme War Hall of the Galactic Empire was a city within itself, an immense structure of black stone and gold filigree, suspended in the void of deep space. Inside, the Empire's greatest minds, admirals, warlords, and counselors, gathered in a vast chamber, their voices a storm of outrage. "This is an act of war," Admiral Xylar roared, slamming his massive reptilian fist onto the table. "No one, in the history of the Empire, has dared to ban us." A blue-skinned noblewoman flicked her shimmering tendrils. "They must be punished," she hissed. "We must remind them of their place." Across the room, a calm, mechanical voice interrupted. "And yet, Supreme Strategist Oros, the Empire's most advanced AI construct, tilted its metallic head. They knew exactly what they were doing. Asterisk, asterisk. The room fell silent. Oros' glowing cybernetic eyes flickered, processing trillions of data points. They were prepared. They had defenses online before we even arrived. And their message, it was not a desperate plea. It was a declaration. The room filled with uneasy murmurs. Valon stepped forward, still shaken from his experience. "My lords, I was there." They did not hesitate. They did not negotiate. They simply denied us. A holographic projection filled the chamber, a real-time feed of Earth's defenses. Thousands of human warships hovered along the Sol system's borders. Their sleek black hulls bore no insignias, no markings, only the cold, unyielding stare of their gunmetal plating. The Grand Emperor himself, a towering figure of violet-scaled authority, stood from his throne. His presence silenced the entire hall. Are we to believe that a mere frontier species has the strength to defy us? His voice was calm, yet sharp enough to cut through the galaxy itself. Oros' processors whirred. "Not strength, my emperor. Knowledge." That word sent a ripple of unease through the council. Knowledge was power. Knowledge was control. And if humans had something that even the Empire feared, then the question wasn't why they had banned the Empire. The question was, what did they know? The Empire sends a test. 2 hours later, the decision was made. A single Imperial warship, the Vanguard, was sent to the edge of the Sol system. Not an invasion, just a test. It hovered just beyond Earth's borders, scanning, watching. The crew expected resistance, maybe a warning, maybe a brief standoff. Instead, the ship disappeared. One moment it was broadcasting telemetry back to the Imperial command. The next, gone. No distress signal, no explosion, just nothing. The Empire watched in horror as their most advanced vessel simply ceased to exist. Fear spreads in the Empire. Across the galaxy, whispers spread. What had Earth done? The last time a ship vanished like that was during the War of the Ancients, a war fought against a species that no longer existed. The Council reconvened, fear now replacing anger. "Recall all Imperial forces near human space," the Emperor finally commanded. "We do not act until we understand what we are dealing with." The Council obeyed. For the first time in history, the Galactic Empire backed down. And across the stars, the rest of the galaxy watched in stunned silence. Because if the Empire was afraid, what could be waiting on Earth? The truth about Earth's isolation. The Galactic Empire had never retreated before, not against warlords, not against rebellions, not even against the ancient threats that had once consumed entire civilizations. Yet they had stepped back from Earth. The disappearance of the Vanguard had shaken the Empire's core. An entire warship, gone. with no trace, no wreckage, no energy readings, no evidence that it had ever existed. The galaxy wanted answers. And so, the rumors began. Whispers in the dark. Across the galactic net, speculations ran wild. Earth has a secret weapon, something that defies the laws of physics. The humans discovered something ancient, something dangerous. They aren't warning the Empire. They are warning us all. The Galactic Council, an independent governing body of various species, demanded an explanation. But Earth remained silent. It had been 5 years since they cut ties with the galaxy. No embassies, no trade, no communication. Even the smallest human colonies outside their space vanished overnight, as if they had never existed. The last official human transmission had been simple: do not follow us. But the Empire didn't listen. And now, they had lost a ship to the unknown. The covert investigation. The Empire had always believed in control. If they couldn't attack Earth head-on, they would find another way. In the shadows, the Black Hand, the Empire's most elite covert operatives, were sent to investigate. Their mission? Infiltrate Earth. Find out the truth. 3 stealth ships, cloaked in the latest anti-detection technology, slipped into the Sol system under cover of deep space interference. No weapons, no aggressive actions, just reconnaissance. The first ship approached Mars. It sent a single transmission. Then, nothing. The second ship tried a different approach, landing on Titan, one of Saturn's moons. It sent back one garbled message before it went silent. They CUS. They KNO. The last ship turned back immediately, its crew terrified. They had seen nothing. No human ships, no visible defenses, but they had felt something. A presence. Watching. Waiting. The ship barely escaped the Sol system, but when it returned, the crew was different. The once proud Silari captain, known for his brutality, sat in his chair, shaking. His tendrils quivered, his multiple eyes unfocused. When questioned, he said only 2 words: "Where next?" Then he clawed his own throat open. The ancient signal. Desperation forced the Empire to search beyond its own knowledge. Deep in the archives of the Imperial Vault, a team of historians and codebreakers uncovered something terrifying. A signal. A recorded transmission from over 50,000 years ago. A warning, broadcasted by a civilization long extinct. The voice was garbled, broken by time, but the message was clear enough to freeze the blood of every official listening. They are waking up. They are waking up. They are waking up. The transmission originated from Earth, 50,000 years before humans even existed. Earth's hidden truth. Panic spread through the Empire's high command. Had Earth found something buried beneath its surface, something not of human origin? Or worse, had the humans become something else? The galaxy held its breath, waiting for the Empire to strike back. But for the first time in history, the Empire did nothing. Because suddenly, the war was no longer about power. It was about survival. And for the first time, the Empire feared that Earth might not be the ones in danger. The rest of the galaxy might be. The Empire makes its move. The Galactic Empire did not believe in fear. Fear was for the weak, for lesser civilizations that had fallen under their rule. But now, fear was all they had left. The disappearance of their warship, the failed covert missions, and the ancient signal from Earth's past had left them shaken. The Empire's greatest minds, warlords and strategists, sat in the Supreme War Hall, whispering the same question over and over. What has Earth become? No one had an answer. But the Emperor made his decision. We must act. But we will not act blindly. And so, the Empire sent a test. The test fleet. It wasn't an invasion. Not yet. The Empire dispatched a single fleet, 3 battlecruisers, 1 dreadnought, and a fleet of drone scouts. A display of force, not aggression. A way to measure Earth's response. As the fleet approached the Sol system, the warship's scanners picked up strange anomalies. No satellite activity, no outgoing transmissions, no sign of trade, commerce, or civilian signals. Earth was silent. Too silent. The dreadnought, Havoc Eternal, led the fleet toward the solar system's edge, its captain cautious but confident. If they have something to hide, we will find it. Asterisk, asterisk. And then, the fleet detected movement. Not from Earth. Not from any human ships. From space itself. The phantom field. At first, the sensors showed nothing. No ships, no weapons, no signs of human technology. But then, something shifted. The stars themselves rippled, like waves on an ocean, distorting reality. The ship's systems flickered, alarms blared, gravitational anomalies spiked to impossible levels. And then, they saw it. Not a fleet, not a weapon, a void. A massive, invisible force spreading across the solar system like an unseen storm. The Empire's most advanced scanners couldn't define it, only that it was there and growing. The fleet's fate. The fleet's admiral, Corvalthex, had served in over 1,000 battles. He had crushed rebellions, conquered planets, and seen the fall of entire civilizations. But this was different. What is that? He barked at his crew. The sensor officer's voice shook. Sir, I don't know. Then fire on it. The dreadnought's cannons roared, unleashing enough firepower to level entire planets. The plasma beams vanished into the void. The torpedoes disappeared. No impact, no explosion, no resistance, just nothing. Then the screams began. Across the fleet, officers collapsed, clutching their heads. Their voices turned to guttural, broken sounds, not screams of pain, but something else. Screams of understanding. They had seen something beyond the Empire's knowledge. And in that moment, the Empire's greatest fear was realized. Earth was no longer part of their reality. It had become something else. Something outside. The final transmission. Before the fleet was lost, before the ships vanished into the silent storm, one last message was sent back to the Empire. A final broken transmission from Admiral Corvalthex himself. His voice was not one of a warrior. It was a whisper. We were wrong. Static. It's not Earth that is lost. The crew's screams filled the background. Then, silence. The last words before the transmission cut out completely. It's us. Aftermath. Fear takes hold. The Empire received the transmission, but they did not understand it. How could a single world, a single species, create an anomaly that erased an entire fleet? The Emperor's advisors argued. Some demanded war. Others, the smarter ones, wanted to leave Earth alone. The Emperor himself remained silent, watching the void of space through his palace windows. Then he made his decision. We do not attack Earth. The council froze. My Emperor, we do not attack Earth, he repeated. Not now. Not ever. And with that, the Galactic Empire, the most powerful force in the universe, stepped away. They did not retreat out of weakness. They retreated because, for the first time, they had no idea what they were dealing with. And for the first time in its history, the Empire chose to be afraid. The truth finally revealed. The Galactic Empire did not know how to handle fear. It had ruled for 10,000 years through power and control. It had conquered species, crushed rebellions, and erased civilizations that dared resist. But Earth had done something no one else had ever done. They had not fought back. They had simply disappeared. The silence that shook the galaxy. After the destruction of the test fleet, every eye in the galaxy turned toward Earth. The galactic news networks flooded with speculation. Had humans become gods? Had they unlocked forbidden knowledge? Had they summoned something older than the Empire itself? Worlds that had once mocked humanity went quiet. The Galactic Council, once eager to condemn Earth's isolation, now refused to even speak its name. Trade routes near human space were abandoned. Entire sectors were declared off-limits. Even the most ruthless pirate fleets avoided Sol, not because they feared humans, because they feared what humans had become. The rogue scientist's revelation. In a hidden laboratory on Nova Prime, a rogue scientist named Dr. Renzik Sui had been obsessed with Earth's disappearance for years. She was a historian, an archaeologist of lost civilizations, and she knew something the Empire refused to acknowledge. She hacked into the Empire's secret vaults. She decrypted ancient records. And then she found it. The Forbidden Files, a hidden archive, sealed for over 50,000 years, a record of the last species to stand against the Galactic Empire. They were called the Verith, a species known for their intelligence, their rapid evolution. They had technology that defied physics, cities that could shift between dimensions, weapons that could erase entire star systems. The Empire feared them. So, the Empire destroyed them. Or so they thought. Dr. Xi's hands trembled as she played the last recording from the Verith homeworld. It was a single, desperate warning. They have gone beyond the threshold. They are no longer bound by time, by space, by reality itself. They have left this existence. They are waiting. And one day, another species will awaken like we did. When that happens, we will not be able to stop it. The file ended. Dr. Xi's blood ran cold. Earth had awakened. The final message from Earth. Then, it happened. For 5 years, Earth had been silent. No broadcasts, no diplomatic efforts, no sign of life. Then, without warning, a single message appeared on every galactic network, in every language, on every screen across the galaxy. A single, human voice. To those who are watching, do not follow us. Do not search for us. We are no longer part of your reality. The voice was calm, but beneath it, there was something else. An echo. A presence. As if 1,000 voices spoke at once. You tried to control the universe. You tried to own what was never yours. Now you will know fear. The message cut out, and in the silence that followed, the galaxy held its breath. Because something had changed. The stars above every imperial planet shifted, not visibly, not through any scientific measurement. But every being in the galaxy felt it. Like the universe itself had tilted. Like something had just woken up, and it was watching. The Empire's ultimate decision. The Emperor stood alone in his throne room, staring into the void. He had seen empires rise and fall. He had never feared anything. But now he feared what lay beyond Earth. He turned to his council. Seal all records of this event. Declare Earth forbidden. No ship is to approach their territory again. The warlords protested. We must destroy them before they destroy us. The Emperor's gaze was cold. Destroy what? They are not in our universe anymore. We do not fight ghosts. And so, the Empire closed the book on Earth. They removed it from their maps. They erased it from their history. Because it was easier to pretend Earth had never existed than to accept the truth of what it had become. Final scene, Earth's future. Far beyond the edge of known space, where no Empire ship dared to go, Earth remained. The planet still existed, still floated in its familiar orbit, but something was different. The blue oceans, the green forests, the towering cities, they all shimmered like reflections on water, as if Earth was no longer a place, as if it was something more. And deep in the heart of the planet, a single voice whispered, "We have ascended, and we are not alone. Soon, you will understand." The stars flickered, and the galaxy, for the first time in its long history, prayed that Earth never returned. The final standoff. The Galactic Empire was silent. For the first time in its history, it did not send warships. It did not issue threats. It did not demand submission. Because what was left to conquer, when your enemy no longer belonged to your reality? Yet fear and pride were a dangerous combination, and deep within the Empire's high command, not all agreed with the Emperor's decision. Some believed Earth was bluffing. Some believed whatever power they had awakened could still be tamed. And some, the most reckless of all, believed that if they could not control Earth, they must destroy it. The Empire's last gamble. In a secret meeting chamber, Grand Admiral Xylar, Supreme Tactician Oros, and War Priestess Varka sat in the dark. These were not cowards. They were not the kind to fear shadows. But Earth. Earth had become more than just a shadow. It was an unanswered question. And the Empire hated unanswered questions. Xylar slammed a metallic fist onto the table. "We are fools to turn away." His voice rumbled like thunder. The Empire does not retreat. If the Emperor is too afraid to act, we must act in secret. The War Priestess Varka narrowed her golden eyes. The test fleet was erased. Do you wish to join them? Oros, the Empire's most advanced AI, processed the variables. There is still a path to victory. Xylar leaned forward. "Speak." Oros's mechanical voice hummed. "We do not need to attack Earth." The warlord frowned. "Then what do you suggest?" Oros's eyes glowed brighter. "We pull them back." Silence. Oros continued, its voice unwavering. "They have left our reality, but that does not mean we cannot reach them. We do not need to fight them. We need only to make them return." Varka's brow furrowed. "You would force a species beyond the threshold back into our universe. You assume they can even be brought back." Oros's circuits whirred. "It is not an assumption. It is a calculation. We have encountered these anomalies before." Varka stiffened. "Where?" The AI's glowing eyes flickered. "The Varith." That name sent a chill through the room. The ritual of the Varith. Long ago, the Varith were the Empire's greatest threat. A civilization so advanced, their very technology warped the nature of space. And then, one day, they vanished. But before they disappeared, the Empire had stolen one of their secrets. A technology designed to call back those who had stepped beyond the limits of time and space. A forbidden ritual. A galactic beacon. A signal that could force even the most powerful species back into reality. If Earth had left this universe, then the Empire would drag them back. Willing or not. The Empire's final weapon. Deep within the black heart of the Empire, an ancient machine, built from Varith technology, was activated for the first time in millennia. The resonance array. It did not fire missiles. It did not unleash energy beams. It sang. A pulse, a vibration, a frequency older than the stars themselves. A call that stretched across dimensions, across realities, across the fabric of existence. A summon. The moment Earth returned. Across the galaxy, the stars flickered. Across the Empire, machines glitched, shadows deepened, whispers filled the air. And then, the void opened. At the edge of the Sol system, space itself tore apart. Not with an explosion, not with fire, with silence. A black scar stretching across the stars, revealing something beyond understanding. And within it, Earth returned. But it was not the Earth the Empire once knew. It was bigger, darker. Its very presence warped gravity. The Empire's ships that had come too close were dragged forward, unable to escape. And then, for the first time, human ships appeared. They were no longer made of metal and steel. They were impossible shapes, shifting, bending, moving in ways that should not exist. And from Earth, a single voice rang across the stars, a voice that was no longer human. "You should not have called us back." The price of arrogance. The War Priestess Varka watched in horror. "Shut it down." Xylar's face twisted in rage. "No, we have them where we want them." The AI Oros, for the first time in its existence, hesitated. It was calculating an answer it did not want to find. Because something was happening to the Empire's own ships. They were changing. Their hulls twisted, Their lights flickered. Their crews screamed as something unseen took hold of their bodies. Something that was not human, not machine, not of this universe at all. And then, the Empire's own ships turned against them. A fleet of corrupted warships, no longer controlled by their captains, now moved with a new purpose, a hunger. And Earth's voice spoke again. You have made a mistake. We did not leave your universe to escape. We left because we had outgrown it, and now you have forced us to return. You will not like what we have become. The battle that never was. Siler grabbed the controls of his personal warship, screaming at his officers. Fire! Fire everything! Every Imperial ship still under Empire control opened fire. Planet-killing torpedoes, antimatter warheads, plasma bombardments. Every weapon the Empire had was unleashed upon Earth, and in the next moment, it was gone. Not Earth. The weapons. Erased, as if they had never existed. And then Earth's final message arrived. You wished for war. We do not grant wishes. And then, the corrupted ships turned toward the Empire, the Emperor's final order. On the Imperial throne world, the Emperor watched in silence. His greatest warships were now his greatest nightmare. His best commanders, consumed. His most trusted AI, falling silent. And then, the Emperor did something no one expected. He knelt, and with a voice that had commanded the stars for millennia, he whispered, We surrender. Silence. Then, Earth's voice spoke one last time. No. And the stars went dark. The endgame begins. Across the galaxy, the Empire's greatest worlds, the strongest planets, the most fortified strongholds, vanished. No explosions. No war. Just emptiness. The galaxy watched in horror as the Galactic Empire, the rulers of the known universe, was erased from existence. And in the silence that followed, the last message from Earth remained on every galactic transmission. We told you to run. And somewhere, beyond the stars, beyond time itself, Earth watched. And it was waiting. The unthinkable happens. The Galactic Empire was gone. Not defeated. Not conquered. Erased. Their fleets, their cities, their history, wiped from existence as if they had never been. Only a few scattered survivors remained, stranded in the void, drifting without a home. No one knew why they had been spared. But the truth was far worse. They had not been spared. They had been left behind to remember. The aftermath. A galaxy without its masters. For 10,000 years, the Empire had ruled. Now, in a single moment, their throne stood empty. And across the galaxy, chaos erupted. On Imperial slave worlds, the chains fell open. But there were no celebrations. On trading hubs, merchants watched in horror as their Imperial currency turned to worthless dust. On war-ravaged planets, resistance forces stood victorious, only to realize their enemy no longer existed. It should have been a moment of freedom. But instead, it was a moment of fear. Because the galaxy understood the truth. If the Empire could be erased so easily, what did that mean for the rest of them? And worse, what if Earth wasn't finished? The last Emperor's escape. Deep in the unknown regions, a single ship drifted through the void. Inside, the last Emperor of the Galactic Empire stood in silence, staring at the star map before him. The Empire had fallen. Everything he had built, everything he had ruled was gone. But he had survived. And he knew why. Because Earth wanted him to understand. And so he ran. He fled to the deepest parts of space, searching for anything that could fight back against the impossible. Legends of lost gods. Ancient weapons buried in black holes. Forbidden technologies hidden in the ruins of dead civilizations. If there was even the slightest chance of stopping Earth, he would find it. But deep down, he knew the truth. He was not hunting Earth. Earth was hunting him. The final warning. Across the galaxy, a message appeared. written in a language no species had ever seen before, yet all could understand. A final warning, a rule written into the stars themselves. Do not seek us. Do not call to us. Do not make us return. And beneath it, one final line. You will not survive a second time. What has Earth become? In the void where Earth once existed, something shifted. Not in space, not in time. Beyond, what had started as a single planet had become something else. Something that no longer needed a home. Something that no longer needed a universe. And as the last remnants of the Empire faded into history, the galaxy whispered in terror. Because Earth had not won a war. It had evolved beyond war itself. And now, it was waiting for the rest of the universe to catch up, or be left behind. Forever. Final scene. A new era begins. Somewhere, in the ruins of a forgotten world, a lone traveler discovered something impossible. An artifact. A relic from before the fall. He reached out, his fingers trembling. The moment he touched it, a whisper filled his mind. A voice, ancient and powerful. A voice from Earth. You are not ready. The traveler gasped, stepping back. The artifact vanished. And in that moment, the galaxy understood. Earth had not left. It was everywhere. And one day, it would return. Not to conquer, not to destroy, but to see if the galaxy had finally become worthy. And if it hadn't, then the first warning had been mercy, and there would be no mercy the second time.